on digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Donut Bag presented by The Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Bag of Donuts. And here's your host, Joey Bag of Donuts.
You'll never believe what just happened.
What happened?
So I have a dog. His name is George. He is 10 months old, and he is devoted his life to crime. He is he's trying to be the worst behaved dog in the history of the world. And as we're starting, it's like I smell something. He pooped somewhere in here.
Oh,
so I hope he didn't poop on the Steelers logo or something like that. But which he has done before. So George but he's so darn cute, so he gets away with everything. So
what type of dog is George again?
he is a Chihuahua.
Oh yeah, my son would go nuts.
He's a little bit different than regular Chihuahuas, because regular Chihuahuas are like just yippy and yell at everybody. He is very friendly. He's very friendly and lovable. And the only time he barks is like, "Hey, why aren't you petting me? Why aren't you playing with me?" So he's a very happy little dog that just creates as much. I mean, one day before I was about to go to work, I lay my clothes on the bed and he pees on my work pants.
He peed on your work pants. Oh boy.
Peed on, yeah, like you gotta be kidding me, dude. No,
Never had that happen, and I have a boy dog and a girl dog, and
I tell you what, they're different. Boy dogs are
different.
Girl dogs are way more chill. Boy dogs they just want to see how much destruction.
That is funny because my girl dog's very chill too, and my boy dog's wants to cause destruction. And
Yeah. I think in general that's how dogs are. Anyway, welcome to the Donut Bag Podcast, part of the Sportscast Network. And look who's back!
I'm back,
Mr. Darren.
So glad to be back and with you, and looking forward to a good season, preseason, and we got all kinds of things going on right now.
So you got a training camp shirt.
I did. My son and I got matching shirts, actually. We both got the Yellow Steelers Training Camp 2026 is what I think it says. So,
Very cool.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about going to training camp in Latrobe or Latrobe, I don't know how you're supposed to say it, is their shop is really cool. It is a giant tent. It is basically the entire Steelers store in this thing, and you could get some amazing deals. I got a Russell Wilson jersey last year for like $10 or something like that.
Yeah, on the sale rack. Yeah.
I don't care that it's Russell Wilson. It's a Steeler jersey. Man, that's cool.
Yep. I think my brother-in-law got a Jason Gilden jersey one time.
There you go.
There
you go.
Yeah.
So you were there. Now this is the first training camp with Mike McCarthy. How different is it than in previous years?
It's completely different. I've never seen that since before Camp Tallman. I mean, and that's what we were talking before about. I talked to a reporter friend of mine, and he said it's hard to keep up notes because they just kept moving, and it was so fast paced. And I just couldn't believe it because I'd heard ahead of time he was going to have the benches removed. I think I even shot you a text about that. And he did. McCarthy had the benches moved, so nobody was sitting down. Nobody was just standing around. The air horn they famously blow like every 15 to 18 minutes was every 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, it was quick. And the way, if you've ever been at Steelers training camp, they have it set up like, here's one field, here's the next field parallel. So we had, Mason Rudolph and Aaron Rodgers on one field and Drew Aller and Will Howard on the other, and they were constantly rotating. I've never seen quarterbacks work that hard. Usually it's like well, we got Will Howard in now, and the other three are standing around kind of watching or talking. No. They were all doing it. He brought out the famous McCarthy screen. Have you seen that? So it's a giant, like 10-foot wide by 10-foot screen with he had Steeler stars put on the middle of the screen. So, red, yellow, blue. And they take it about 15 yards down from the line of scrimmage. And the quarterbacks have to throw over that and then into the receiver. So a couple things that tells me is, they're trying to get him to throw above the linebackers or a roaming safety, but they're also going to be spreading the offense this year. And they were throwing to all the wide receivers, and I was surprised how much time Roman Wilson got on the starting offense. But a lot of the quarterbacks took a little time. Rodgers knew what he was doing right away. I think Rodgers had seen that, right? But the other quarterbacks took some time. I think Aller and Howard both clanked one off the top. But it was really kind of neat. And they'd move it to the left and the center and to the right. And then, quarterbacks just drop back and have to get it over that screen, that fence. So it was really kind of neat to see that. But, the defense was constantly in motion. They switched the number one defense to the number two defense and so on and so forth. So, it was – I haven't seen anything like that. I not since before Tomlin.
I've heard it. Someone described it perfectly. It seems like Tomlin's training camps emphasize toughness, and this training camp is emphasizing learning and technique.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's perfect, and it's exactly what it does. And I'm for that because I thought Tomlin always went a little bit too hard with the pads. But the only thing that was kind of tough to get a read on was the offensive line, defensive line, just because they aren't kind of crashing into each other, right? And not that they went full all out in those practices, but they would get pretty aggressive. But they really weren't. But they were rotating guys from the defense as well quite a bit too. And it was very interesting and very fast paced. And like we went back to grab some grub for a little bit. And I overheard one of the staff guys on his walkie-talkie, we're about to wrap this up in about 15 or 20 minutes. And I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, oh, my God. Like, they're going to be done soon. So they weren't messing around. They didn't come out to 11 o'clock. It was no longer, 9, 10 a.m. They were out there. They were out there at 11, and they were done by like 1, 2 o'clock, I think it was. So.
Yeah, it seems like what they're doing is – they're cramming so much and they're doing so much because I think, like I said, I think I heard there's so many like people with cameras recording everything. And so basically, they're doing all this stuff and then it's like, okay, we'll record it all and then we'll watch it later and analyze it later. I think what Tomlin did was he was very hands-on, and as it was happening, he was commenting on it and doing things in real time. And it seems like McCarthy is saying, okay, we'll do all this stuff and then we'll analyze it like game tape or something for later. So I think that's another difference.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And he was very involved, running back and forth with the teams and stuff like that. You can kind of poke fun at him because they say he's a big guy or whatever like that. But for a big guy, he can move. So he was back and forth, and it was pretty spot on. And it just the whole pace of it was kind of interesting, and to see them doing all that, and everybody was kind of talking about it like, wow, this is never seen anything like this before. They're moving and they're, everything like that. And it was great. It was a totally different experience, and it was a good one. Seeing Rodgers so active, and I was kind of surprised by that. But then as McCarthy came out after yesterday's practice and said, and we had this wrong. He said, no, I totally expect Aaron Rodgers to practice or play in preseason like 30 to 40 snaps each preseason game, which last year he didn't have one snap at all. And we go from 0 snaps to 30 or 40. And Rodgers didn't even admit, he said, he was asked on Pat McAfee today, hey, what do you think about that? He's like, well, I don't really want to do it, but if you want me to do it, I'll do it. you know. So I think that's what you're seeing. I think we're going to see a lot of Will Howard, Drew Aller, and of course Mason. So this is quite possibly the three most important preseason games we've had in 20 years, 25 years. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually love that because this goes into our next topic. The big news of the past week was they're not doing live tackling, and people lost their mind. What do you mean? What are you gonna do? Put skirts on them and stuff? They're still active. They're still physical. They're just not tackling to the ground. That's all. And it seems like when Tomlin was doing that, he was like the last of that was like a dinosaur thing to do. Every other team does not do that. Every other team does not do the live tackling to the ground. So we're just going with the times. But
yeah,
it's not like flag football or something like that. It's still gonna be physical.
Yeah, the receivers and the backs were very physical. But to your point, Joe, like, okay, well, they're hitting pads all summer long, and then we get into and we're gonna have quarterbacks push blocking sleds and all that stupid crap that they did, and that didn't work. They had injuries. It seemed like every week or every other day there was some sort of injury, and then we'd get past week 9 or 10 in the regular season, and guys would be out because they'd be hurt because they've been going since August 1st
or worn down.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you make the playoffs and everybody's so darn exhausted and beat down and wore down that you get blown out.
Right.
Another thing that to me was telling was, I don't know how they measure tackling, but apparently the Steelers were the third worst tackling team in the league. So all this extra tackling didn't even result in them being a good tackling team.
No, it didn't. And I was interesting just as much as they were interchanging the offense. They were giving the defense a lot of good, Holcomb played a lot on first team defense. So they were actually using our inside linebackers to their fullest. You'd see obviously Watt would be out there in Highsmith, and they were moving Watt and Highsmith around quite a bit. And then they, were moving around Holcomb in there, and of course Herbig. And Peyton, chemo brain.
Peyton Wilson.
Peyton Wilson, thank you. I was going to say Willis. Peyton Wilson, they were moving them and interchanging their positions on defense and stuff like that. And it did throw some of the quarterbacks off. Aller struggled a little bit under pressure. That was the one noticeable thing I saw him. But then again, he hit some beautiful passes downfield. He hit one for about 50 and another for almost 70 for touchdowns. And they were beautiful balls, thrown very well, and looked fantastic. I actually think he does have the stronger arm than Will Howard. But the only thing was just a little bit of he's trigger happy from what I've seen so far. I've seen it at Penn State. But he's been trigger happy when he's under pressure. And the Steelers definitely brought the blitz and brought pressure those 2 days.
Everybody complaining that Tampa camp is easy, needs to drop down and give us 100 and then run laps. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy camp, and I do like that not having a bench. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
my shocker is Drew having issues on the pressure. So let's talk about the whole Drew Aller, Will Howard thing. Yes, Drew Aller is making mistakes, but he is also making spectacular throws, and it does seem that he does have, the thing is, he's perfect for the internet, because if you screw up 8 times out of 10, but those 2 times you make spectacular plays, all they're going to show is the spectacular plays. So all these people which I still can't believe this happens. All these people in the stands that just take videos, post videos of every single play. I don't understand how that's allowed. But anyway,
well, there's signs that say that you're not allowed to.
You're not allowed. I mean, but they're definitely not enforced because I mean, there's entire accounts that base their entire existence on here's every single play. But Aller can make can be bad 8 plays, but those 2 plays he's awesome, and everybody's just talking about, oh my god, the Steelers have a steal with Drew Aller and stuff. I mean, that's okay, fine. We're not expecting anything from Drew Aller this year, and it is encouraging that he has the arm. That's great, but if that's the future, that's a little scary. That's a little scary if he eventually becomes a starter, and it's like, oh crap, like you can't survive on being bad a lot of the time and making the occasional good spectacular throw.
Well, I think the thing with Aller was I think he's learning, so that's one thing. He wasn't awful. Granted, he had some missed throws and stuff like that, but there was a couple. They ran a drill where the running back to Rico Dowdle, I know a couple times, ran like an off tackle, but then he ran out for the pass, and Aller hit him perfect. That was more than once. So there was some short passes he was good on too, but yeah, there were some times where those blitzes did that. And let's not forget that those blitz packages that they're running are designed to, mess with the quarterback's mind and get them off their feet. And a young rookie quarterback is going to struggle, whether his name's Drew Aller or Will Howard or Bernie Kosar or whatever he is. I just think that if you ask me right now, if Rodgers went down, God forbid, knock on wood, that doesn't happen, I'd feel a little better of Will Howard stepping in there right now. And I think they want that over Mason Rudolph. We get to the question eventually down in a couple weeks here in the podcast. What are they going to carry 4 QBs in a regular season? I just don't think they are. And I think Mason Rudolph may be the odd man out.
Yeah. I think that's what they want. They want is, and so Drew Aller has the physical tools. He has the arm. Hopefully he has the legs. Hopefully he's Josh Allen Jr. I would love that. Will Howard, he ain't that ain't him. Nope. He was a 6th round pick for a reason. He does not have the arm. But you could still, just because you don't have a spectacular arm, you could still be a success in the NFL. He just has to be good at everything else. And so what I've heard about him is he's more steady, and he's okay. Good. He better be. He has a year experience on Drew Aller. So we'll see. I thought initially that it was a competition between Aller and Mason Rudolph, and now I think that's not the case. It's not Aller versus Mason. It's Aller versus. I'm sorry, not Aller versus Will Howard versus Mason Rudolph. It's whether Will Howard. This is basically a job interview for Will Howard, and it's like, listen, we got a position open, buddy. Backup quarterback. Can you fill it? This is like an intern going for a job. We'll see how you do. And this whole training camp and this whole preseason is about whether you got what it takes to be at the very minimum a backup quarterback in the NFL. So it doesn't matter what Mason does. We know what Mason Rudolph's going to do. This is all on Will Howard. How's he going to do? And like you said, these preseason games are going to be insanely important. Yeah. One thing about the whole live tackling thing, when you say Mike McCarthy said Aaron Rodgers is going to have to play some snaps, I love that, because that is the one advantage that the Mike Tomlin teams had is, yes, they would wear out toward the end of the season, but they were fresh at the beginning of the season, and they were more prepared than the teams that did nothing, like those idiots in Cincinnati Bengals. And so you need to, especially when you have a new team and a new coach, you need the first team to be cohesive. You need those reps. So McCarthy saying, hey, Aaron Rodgers is going to have to play in the preseason, to me, that's perfect. That means we're going to be prepared. And yeah, I know he's going to be prepared either way, but still, you need that first team, whoever that first team is, has to be a cohesive unit and has to play as much as possible together to just come out of the gate ready.
Right, which is why he was practicing so much. Last year training camp, he was standing around a lot, and stuff like that. Now, granted, I was there last year after the Friday Night Lights game in Latrobe Stadium, and he was basically, everybody else was in pads or he was in light workout clothes and stuff like that. But he was throwing the ball a lot, and like I said, they just rotated the quarterbacks to one field to the other. And they worked with the first team offense, second team offense. It was really good and cohesive. So I definitely see that plan. It was kind of interesting that, late or yesterday, Sunday after practice, he came out and said, McCarthy came out and said that, Aaron Rodgers will be playing in preseason. So, yeah, so he's pretty confident in that. And Aaron Rodgers, again, is kind of reluctant about it, but he'll do it because he respects McCarthy. So, yeah.
I saw a clip today. It was basically Aller had the ball, throw it deep to a wide receiver on the sideline. Immediately give it to Will Howard, throw deep to a wide receiver on the sideline. It was like continuous motion. Like, holy crap, this is a well-oiled machine. And yeah, it doesn't matter whether they have benches or not. They wouldn't be sitting around anyway because there's just so much activity. That is amazing.
Yeah, and if you were a receiver or running back, it was the same thing. You had to know when you were ready. You had to pay attention because when they called your number, you had to be in there and make the play. I found that interesting too, Joe. There was a lot of Rico Dowdle with the first team offense. We remember he played with McCarthy in Dallas. He played under him at Dallas. I'm getting the feeling it's still early yet. I know it's just a small piece of the pie, but it looks to me like they may be wanting to use him in first and second down situations, maybe bringing Jalen Warren during a third down. I don't know. But I was surprised and impressed with how Dowdle looked. And he was very fired up, very vocal out there, very vocal player.
I think that would be the perfect usage for both of them.
Yeah.
And nothing against Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren could be a 3-down back, but then you risk you risk him wearing down or getting hurt. I think getting Dowdle was a steal. I remember he was a beast in Carolina. I think that was a great pickup. So I'm very excited to see how that's all going to work out. So yeah, I think that was a very underrated, underreported signing, and I think that's going to be huge. So yeah, I'm excited. I also hear good things about Caleb Johnson. I know it's early, but that's good sign too. That's good sign too. Hopefully he could stick around.
Well, he knows his neck's on the line. If he performs bad, there's a chance he doesn't make it out of camp, right?
Exactly.
He's got a lot to prove. And to make sure he gets some playing time, because last year he obviously buried himself for the first half of the season with some horrible decisions and not good play and not good running. And he barely saw the ball or time on the field for that reason. So he has probably, of all those running backs, he has the most to play for because he has the most to lose.
Hey, it happens. You're going, just because, the difference between college and the pros is massive.
Yeah.
And you get overwhelmed, and especially when you're a very big fish in a small pond, and then you come in and you're a very tiny fish in a big pond. It's like, and then he had that whole screw up with the kickoff, and that just killed his season. So.
Barry Foster too.
Yep. Yeah, the whole Roman Wilson, Jeremy Bernard thing is very interesting too. I hear good things about Roman Wilson too, and that's great. I hope that works out.
Yeah, Rodgers very complimentary on him. So was Will Howard. A couple quarterbacks mentioned how much they like throwing to him. He was also very active, and I think we finally saw the Roman Wilson that played at Michigan, and kind of aggressive. And I think he's also kind of that same spot that Caleb Johnson is like, hey, look, they're probably going to keep me because of the wide receiver depth, but I might not see a minute of playing time unless I actually prove myself this year, and make myself a starter on this team or a reliable player. So, I think he's got a lot to play for.
Jeremy Bernard looking good. That's good news.
He actually had a pass that I really liked. It was general 15-yard flags. And this one pass is a start out where you start out on your right and instead you hook to the left. And it was Rodgers at quarterback. And Rodgers actually had the ball a little bit behind him. And he reached back, grabbed that ball, juked the DB out, and went probably another 30 yards for someone could get him out of bounds. Very talented. I think a lot of wide receivers would have made a grasp at that, maybe let it go. I mean, he made a heck of an effort to not only secure the ball, but then bring it around his head, kind of tuck it, and then juke the DB out at the same time. He ran very hard on that play and got a lot of, wows from the audience on that one. Very impressive play.
Yeah. I'm hearing that Rodgers and DK Metcalf are basically inseparable. They're really working on their connection, and that'll be really interesting. I haven't heard one thing about Pittman, which is fine.
Yeah.
Even if Pittman's a good decoy, but it seems like it's all about DK Metcalf early on.
It is. They played him a lot. Another guy that's a main starter, main part of this team that was out there constantly. Pittman was out there too. I don't think I saw Pittman drop a ball. I really think that guy is going to be our, we need 6 yards. Where's Michael Pittman at? And he's going to do it, and then he did very well in the end zone drills too. And, I know they did the one drill and Washington was in the end zone and that drew a double coverage actually. And Pittman just kind of sneaked through the gap on his right side. He was wide open and Mason Rudolph hit him for a touchdown. And so, it was pretty interesting. So definitely nice use of Pittman's abilities and talents. I think he's going to be a good player.
Just even if he's just a decoy to, to just so we don't have one good wide receiver out there. Even it's just the existence of him will help. So that'll be nice. I'm hearing on the defense the big winner is Asante Samuel Jr. and he's really taken advantage of this whole Joey Porter Jr. not being available thing, and he's looked perfect so far, and that's not a surprise, but that's a nice thing to hear.
Yeah, looked tough. Had a couple batted balls on Saturday that I saw, and he stuck with each wide receiver. There was no point where I saw, at least from my vision, where he got burned or juked for anything. He was really playing lights out.
Good. Yeah, it's very early. I mean, I'm hearing that Jennings Dunker is, people are thinking he's going to be the starter. It's like, I mean, gosh, it's hard to expect a rookie to just come in and just start on the offensive line. So I'm fine with that.
I was surprised by that. He was a fan favorite. He came out and the crowd went nuts. They were all bunting his jersey, and I saw a couple Dunker jerseys walking around, the red mullet going on. A couple people had red mullet wigs, so you can kind of probably see that coming. If he does make this team and makes it going, he's going to have a fan following for sure. But he was very popular. And, of course, Jaquan Brisker did very well. And I couldn't believe the amount of Brisker jerseys. And then there was about, I'm serious, 24 people walking around with yellow Brisker shirts that had his number and his name on the back. That was
all his friends and family.
Yeah, and it suddenly dawned on me, that's right, he played at Gateway, he's from the area. So yeah, they were there in force. And
they took a picture of him and his family on the field.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It looked like the 53-man roster. It looked like there was like dozens of people out there. Like,
I'll have to look that up. I didn't see that. Okay.
That's like, wow. That's really, that has to be amazing. You play and you get to play in your hometown and get to play in front of, you get to practice in front of your friends and family and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was. And he played well too. And I think we're going to be pretty, they'll get JPJ John here, but they're going to have to pay a pretty penny. I think they've already kind of wasted their time. If there's one criticism I have of the Steelers right now is I think that should have been done before he came to camp. I think he should have had his money before Nick Herbig had his. But I think they want to get that done. Because if he's in there with the rest of those guys, I not being a homer, I'm just saying I think we have probably the best defensive backfield in the AFC, and right on par with the Bears and a few of the other teams. Top notch.
Either they were dumb for waiting, or his agent is like, no, let's wait this out. Let's just,
yep.
The more we wait, the more money we make, because it's just going to get worse, because I think there's a couple other guys out there that need to get their contracts, so it's just going to go up and up and
yeah.
up. And like, oh,
it is. Yeah.
You just hope that gets done soon. But I am so excited about the defense. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about everything, just because it's a change in coaching and a change in philosophy and a change in style. The defenses under Tomlin were everything under Tomlin stale and predictable.
Yeah.
And now that's not the case. We don't know what the defense is gonna be like. TJ Watt might even be okay with moving around. I've seen sometimes where they played Herbig at inside linebacker, which makes a lot of sense.
They did that Saturday a lot. He was playing inside linebacker and moving around, and that threw some of the offensive linemen off. He got in there, and that was the only thing. I mean, they're not going to sack the quarterback, right? But I would like to see that full speed with pads on, just once or twice, just to see what it was like. But they obviously, you're right, Joe, 100%. This is not going to be that same Steelers team we've watched over the last 20 years, and predictable this, that, and that offense last year was just painful to watch. Throw it to Gainwell, throw it to Gainwell, look for Metcalf.
Right.
Who's Pat Fryermuth? We totally forgot him. No, the tight ends were involved. Muth seems to be feeling the same way, Joe, because I noticed he was excited and kind of jumping up and down. He made a couple great catches, or some routes that were specifically tailored to him. I really think Darnell is going to be more of a 20 yards and in guy. But they were throwing the Muth yesterday quite a bit, or Saturday and Sunday. But he's excited. The players are excited, Joe, just like you and I are. So that was kind of fun to see. You could feel that at camp. You could feel the players were excited, stuff like that. You weren't seeing. I'm not picking on them, but you weren't seeing Cam Hayward sit on a bench like this. He was
Right.
up and moving around, but he seemed to be enjoying it.
The training camp for the veterans is kind of not useless, but what is Cam Hayward going to do? What are you going to teach him or whatever?
Right.
But I mean, that's there's no chance out there to just sit in the bench and chill out. So
yeah.
I'm so excited, because I think there's talent on this team, especially the defense, and it was just not used correctly. And whatever happened, Tomlin did him a favor by leaving. So
he did. He really did.
I have respect for him, but he should have gone a long time ago. So,
he was on a. I'll probably watch any sports documentary if you put it in front of me. I mean, it can be on sailing, it could be on Olympic hockey. And yesterday afternoon, evening, I watched a bit. They have a Buccaneers one on HBO in celebration of their whatever it is now. And it was very interesting how they had Tomlin, because he was the defensive backs coach,
right?
And everybody's talking stuff, and there's some guys you hadn't seen done it before, some guys you didn't see in an interview. Well, here comes Tomlin. I'm like, oh God. And it sounded like you could just plug him in from any old Steeler interview you've seen to now we're talking about the Buccaneers. It was the same Mike Tomlin, same, I don't know, just vocabulary, what's it's and who's it's, and yeah, it was just so funny to me.
And Tomlin clearly hated the media, or just didn't didn't think very much of them, and he would say his word salad things and his little sayings and stuff, and really he would say a lot without saying a dang thing. And it seems like McCarthy is different, and that he tries to explain things, and it's just different. And I'm just so excited that it's not the same damn thing all over and over again.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that was just for you folks that don't know, Joe and I, and we remember this, but the Buccaneers had a coach named John McKay, legendary college coach. And then they brought him with the Buccaneers, and he was there for their first, I think, 2 or 3 years. And probably one of the greatest coaching quotes of all time. A reporter asked him, "What did you think about the execution of your team?" He said, "I'm all for it. I'm in favor of it." And just dry humor. He didn't say it with a smirk. He just said, "I'm in favor of it." So, yeah.
This Tampa Bay teams were interesting because I love the creamsicle uniforms, but they are the least intimidating uniforms in the history of sports.
Right.
And they never won anything under those things. And even when they brought them back for like the throwbacks things, it's like, it's so cool to see them, but I think they lost all those games. You just cannot be intimidating in creamsicle orange. I'm sorry.
No,
it's just,
you can't.
You just, it's, there was, back in the 80s, the Los Angeles Kings had purple, like mostly yellow and some purple. I think they were trying to copy the LA Lakers. And then when they traded for Wayne Gretzky, they switched to silver and black, and mostly black. And that was the thing. It's like, okay, now you have a good team, or are we gonna, or does the colors matter and stuff? It's like, but you're never gonna win anything with it. I love the creamsicles, but you're just never gonna win anything with those things.
No. There's burnt orange and sienna orange, and that's fine, but that creamsicle orange just doesn't cut it. Doesn't cut it.
The old men like Cam know the shape they need to be in, and then they need to. Well, yeah, it's yeah. I mean, things aren't going to change much for a Cam Hayward. It's like I mean, he is a medical marvel that he is still.
Well, I know
he is still effective at that age, but then again, his game relies on strength, and you don't lose that much strength as you get older. You lose speed. That's the thing. You lose. That's why it's a little scary with T.J. Watt, because his game relies on speed, but Cam Hayward relies on strength, and so yeah, he could keep going. So.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's a good point on Cam. But my thing was, I just kind of felt that it was, because he kind of got a lot of crap, because he was kind of bitching about having to go to Latrobe on his podcast. I
saw that, yeah.
And but there he was, and we had the binoculars on him and everything, and looking at him and kind of wandering around watching him, and he had an element of excitement to him too. He's smiling, laughing, jumping up and down, and whatnot. So. Yeah, I think it's just a different feeling for everybody there, old and young.
I don't blame him or any player. These are people, especially Cam Hayward. How much has Cam Hayward made in career earnings?
Yeah.
200 million, 150. Who knew? These
Something.
are multi-millionaires that I'm sure live in the nice house in the nice part of town. Woo! Limousine riding, jet flying. And then for 6 weeks out of the year, we want you to live in a dorm room in Latrobe, like with like a tiny dorm room that's just concrete, like Spartan, like conditions. Like what are we gonna do? Attack Troy and sail to whatever? It's like I don't blame you for saying I'm living this. I'm in this wonderful house, and now I go to a dorm room in Latrobe. Like I get that. I get why he would not be happy about that.
It's so different. Okay, maybe it's not the greatest player experience. I would happen to think if I was ever that talented or God gifted that to me, I would kind of enjoy that. But for the fans, you can't beat it. And the being able to watch what you're watching and being able to have being so close in proximity to players and interacting with them. I think I've told you that story. I'll never forget. We were down there for the Chuck Knoll 5K when they used to run that. And I think when Tunch died, I think it kind of died with Tunch because he was a guy that really kind of got that going. And we were there kind of wandering around that morning before, because they would have the 5K early in the morning. Then you get passes to go to practice and stuff like that. And we were kind of wandering around. Out comes one of the dorms, and he's on his phone, and I didn't recognize him first. It was AB. And it's me and my brother-in-law were standing there. He's like, "Hey, fellas, how you doing?" And he goes, "You guys got markers?" And we said, "No." He said, "Just good to see you." And he said, "Yeah, man, good to see you too. Thanks for being a fan." That was it. That was the end of the conversation. But I mean, from me to you, well, from me to the computer away, there's AB just talking on a cell phone to somebody. It wasn't crazy at the time. Yeah. And just that kind of stuff is just, amazing to me. And we could probably do a podcast alone on the history of that, when it used to be no concessions, no tents, just trees. And the one side, you bring a lawn chair, a blanket, you sat down, and you were right there.
And it still is like that. You bring your chair, you could sit, you bring your blankets,
cooler,
the cooler. The problem with bringing a blanket sitting on the grass is the bugs will get you. I would recommend bringing a chair.
Me too.
I've been bit by many bugs in that grass. But it is the most wonderful experience for a fan. And I always joke about the guys that are like, that think that they're the GM or a scout, that bring their notebooks and it's like, I don't know. Omar Khan might call me about, A.T. Perry or something like that. And, that play in August 2nd, in that one drill. So yeah, I better have my notebook ready. But no, people get so involved in it. But the whole thing of the players coming out and just interacting with the fans, it's just the most amazing thing. One year I was just like away from all the fans. I wasn't near like the whole crowd. I was just like kind of off to the side. And one of the backup offensive linemen were there. We were just talking and stuff. It's the most amazing thing that you could just go up and talk to these people. And it's just such a wonderful experience. And I think everyone knows how special it is, and they recognize that, and that hopefully it never changes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I think there's only maybe 4 or 5 other teams that do this still with the Steelers. It may be even less than that. But I'm glad the Steelers organization, even from Noel to Cowher to Tomlin to now McCarthy, have not given up on that. And yeah, of course, there's players that probably want their lap of luxury, like you said, and stuff like that. But they've stayed to that. They've stayed in Latrobe. They're very loyal to St. Vincent College. I just know from a professional standpoint, what I can say is I can tell you this for sure. They don't, that area, the whole Steelers practice area, they do not make St. Vincent College take care of that. They bring the Steelers truck in their own equipment all year and manicure those fields, take care of the bleachers. They take care of that whole thing. They don't say, well, St. Vincent College, you do it. They take care of it. It's just a great thing, and I'm glad, like you said, the tradition continues despite a little bit of yipping and yapping from the players. They stuck to it, and they haven't left it. It makes me proud to be a fan.
And it's a cool experience for the players, too. If they didn't do that, and all those other teams, I'm sure they do it at their own facility or something like that, and then afterwards the players probably go home or whatever the heck it says. But when you're all there, you build that camaraderie. You build that, they're all playing video games together, or they're all, playing cards or whatever. I mean, imagine, all these players just interacting with Aaron Rodgers, a legend, a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's been very open and very accommodating, and just, it's like, hey, let's talk or whatever. It's like, that's an amazing experience. And we don't have that enough, these days. We're all isolated, we're all on our devices and stuff. And it's just cool to have experience like that where everybody's just has to be together in very low tech situations.
Yeah, and there's always great stories. I remember one year we were there, and Max Starks came up, and we're watching a little bit higher, watching him sign the kid stuff. Well, there's one kid, and I don't even know who it was at the time. but he had a white Browns jersey on. And Max stops at him and says, "Man, I'm not sure what you were doing. I'm not sure if you know where you are, but that's the wrong jersey." He pulls off his jersey, signs his jersey, and gives it to the kid. And I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" I didn't see that happen. And it was those stories are always funny
The
to
funny
me.
thing about that is Max Starks is like 6'9".
Oh, he's huge.
He's a massive human being.
He is a large human. He is a Hulk.
That is not someone I want to make angry.
No, you don't want Max Starks angry. I've seen my wife and I saw him do that to a Bengals fan at FedEx corporate headquarters once. Same thing. He said, we were all gathered there, and he said, "Hey, buddy, didn't you get the memo?" It was a Steelers, thing. So, yeah, it was. He's a good guy. Good guy.
One more thing, the Steelers Hall of Honor class was announced. It was Craig Wolfley, understandable. JT Thomas, who I believe, is he from Monroeville?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
He was another. I think he played at Gateway.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kevin Colbert. First of all, Wolf. I mean, Wolf. To me, Wolf and Tunch are like together. Like they're inseparable. So they're just there's nothing more that needs to be said about Tunch and Wolf, because they're just such wonderful people. I don't want to get emotional thinking about it, but
me too.
Kevin Colbert is very interesting. I've heard it's like, well, okay, cool, he's in the Steelers Hall of Honor. Now let's get him in the Pro Football NFL Hall of Fame. Yeah, okay. It's just the problem with that is he had such a wonderful tenure and did such wonderful things. I mean, the Steelers don't get to all those later Super Bowls without him, but it just ended poorly. He's another one like Tomlin. It's like you should have been done maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Sooner.
Yeah. Because when you look across the board, so JT Thomas, 4 Super Bowl rings with the 70 Steelers, kind of a guy that gets forgotten about a little bit. I know he went to Florida State, so maybe he wasn't from Monroeville, because I know he went to FSU.
Something about either from Monroeville or he lives in Monroeville or something.
Something like that. He may live there, but 20 career interceptions, not exactly Hall of Fame numbers, but he did a lot for those Steelers teams, and won 4 Super Bowls with them, and he was the guy who was eventually going to get in. So I'm glad to see him in. And yeah, like you said, Wolf, hard to not get emotional about Wolf too, especially after what I've been through. And Wolf only made it through 2 treatments, over the holidays, and passed away. And I knew Tunch, and I have a great picture of Tunch and I at Latrobe, actually, and they're together again. So that's a great thing in the Hall of Honor, and I'm glad something the Steelers do. But yeah, Colbert's probably a little controversial. We have a Hall of Honor, where we have a lot of those guys that stayed there and played there. Maybe a couple guys like Greg Lloyd and Kevin Green who went elsewhere after their Steeler career. But, I always say, look at Kevin Green. He only played 3 years in Pittsburgh, but he went to the Hall of Fame. As a Steeler. And JT Thomas, I think, was a career Steeler. But Colbert probably could have wrapped it up a little bit earlier, but we couldn't probably get 2 Super Bowls without Kevin Colbert.
Absolute legend. Legend. And, his run was amazing. And when did he start? I believe in 2000.
Right.
And you just think about all the great players that he drafted and acquired and stuff. And it's just like such an amazing run. And yeah.
Well, I still think probably top 3 all time of guys that have been brought in, maybe top 2, James Ferrier. He orchestrated that. Yeah. James Ferrier was a huge part of those Super Bowl teams in the 2010s or early 2000s. And without him, I don't know if they make it either. So yeah, Colbert definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Honor.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we will see. Now now the pads are coming on, and when is the first preseason game? That has to be probably like in a week or two, right?
Right, because isn't this weekend the Hall of Fame game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thursday is the Hall of Fame game. And did you see who's starting for the Carolina Panthers?
Who's starting for the Panthers?
Kenny Pickett.
No way.
The world
Oh.
is not ready. Now, Kenny Pickett is the Joe Montana of preseason football.
Yeah.
When it comes to the preseason football, Kenny Pickett is the GOAT. He is amazing. So we're about to see what a great way to usher in, football again. I saw this last Sunday. It's like this is the last Sunday without football until February. Like, oh, thank goodness we made it. But yeah, we get to see Kenny Pickett just in all his preseason glory.
What is it? The Panthers and the Cardinals?
Yeah.
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 Boy. Oh God. Yeah. That'll be about a first.
You know what? I'm so starved for football. I'm excited. Like, let's go. Panthers and Cardinals Hall of Fame game. Woo!
Yep. No, that'll be interesting for sure. Kenny Pickett. Oh my gosh. And all the Pitt fans will be like, "See, I told you he's a starter and he's the greatest quarterback of all time. And he should be better. He's good in Reno." And I'll never
forget when he got traded to Philadelphia. Some Pitt apologist said, "Thank goodness he's leaving the toxic environment at Pittsburgh to get away from the toxic environment to go to Philadelphia."
Yeah.
Philadelphia. That's where little Hellmouth is. That is where all the demons from hell come from. It's little kid in Philadelphia. What are you talking about? It is the most toxic environment ever. Like that was the funniest thing ever. But
yeah. Very. I mean, yeah. My son's now the age where he likes to ask more and more questions about stuff, and he asked my brother-in-law and I, "Well, which team do you hate the most?" And you want to say, "Well, the Ravens, maybe the Browns, but." The Eagles are up there too. He said, "Well, what's wrong with the Eagles?" And I'm like, "They had a jail in their stadium. They threw batteries at Santa Claus. They, if you wear an opposing jersey, you're probably getting beat up or have food smeared and throw it all over you."
Right.
No, there's no worse or harsh or toxic environment than Philadelphia, unless you're a fan.
Yeah, I literally saw there was a discussion. It's like, what is the most toxic fan base? And like it was almost unanimous. Philadelphia. Yep. Not even close.
The city of brotherly love.
Right.
Yeah.
So we get to see preseason Kenny Pickett.
Now I'll have to watch that.
Yeah. He's probably gonna put up like 500 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little deal. Yeah. He'll set a record for most touchdowns in the first half. Yeah.
What did you say, Dave? They were very important. They're really good players. Well, that's the nice thing about the Hall of Honor. These are probably players. Unfortunately, Greg Lloyd is probably not going to make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but he's perfect for the Hall of Honor. If you've ever, I highly, highly, highly recommend going to the Hall of Honor. It is a wonderful, wonderful experience.
It is a great experience. Yeah.
God, they show a film. They show like a video or something, and I teared up because a lot of it was Franco talking. It's like oh, Franco, but it's just really well done. Really well done.
Yeah, Dave makes a great point on that, but that's exactly what's where you're right. I mean, JT Thomas is probably never going to see Canton, and he probably shouldn't, to be fair. Yeah. But he definitely should see the Hall of Honor. Because he made an impact as a player here. You don't have 4 rings and not make an impact.
Exactly.
So glad he's in.
All right. Well, hey, great seeing you again.
You too.
You look great.
Yeah, great being with you. Thank you so much. Thanks for being a good friend. I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else other than you, Joe. So thank you.
Dave has to end it on a sour note. Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett.
Oh Lord,
Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett. If I'm Kenny Pickett, oh my god, that reminds me. I went to a Pitt game, I think a year ago or 2 years ago or something like that. And they always do at Pitt games is like, let's see how Pitt players that are in the pros, let's see how they're doing. And it's like, here's this player, here's this player, here's this player. And there's like, here's Kenny Pickett, and everybody's like, boo.
Good. Yes, they should boo. Yeah.
But still, I mean, he was good for Pitt. So it's like, that's kind of.
For 1 year, he was pretty good.
He was, yeah. He brought
was
us an
good.
ACC championship. So.
Yep, he did.
But
Yep.
yeah, see, he got a Super Bowl. He played in the game. He nobody kneels down on a Super Bowl better than Kenny Pickett.
No,
the way he put his knee on the ground, whew, that
perfectly
that sealed the deal
executed. All right, Joe.
Hey man, I'll see you.
Yep. See you guys. Bye.